Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Now, that's a long name. And I'll be honest with you, I was like, how much more different can this movie be from the other movies? Because if you really think about it, all the other movies have been the same. I'll be honest with you, I had no intentions of going to see this movie in theaters because I had no idea where else they would go from what happened in the last movie. If you don't know, I guess this is like a spoiler warning for the previous movies, but Caesar's dead, and this movie ends up taking place generations later on, so it's no longer about Caesar's story. We have this new character named Noah, and that's who we're supposed to be following. It's no longer about Caesar. Well, we're no longer following Caesar's story because we have Noah now. And I think that's a good thing because you can only go so long with talking about the same thing over and over again. And that's also part of the reason why I didn't really feel like going to see this movie in the theaters, because I was like, there's not that much you could tell from this point. But I'm glad I didn't listen to myself because I was wrong. I really enjoyed this movie, and honestly, I would say that this is probably my favorite out of the entire series. That's including the originals because I did watch those ones back in the day. I say back in the day like I'm not only 26 years old, but you get what I'm saying. From then on, they haven't made a bad movie, so I should have expected the same thing for this new one going forward. Now, because of that, I had no idea where they're going to go with this movie, so I was kind of excited to see that, and the trailers didn't really give that much away. Of course, you can see that they're chasing after this girl, but you don't really know why and how important she is to, tell the story. And honestly, I think the best way to go into this movie is to not watch any trailers and just head to the theaters. Of course, you should watch the older ones and then come back and watch this new one, but I think that it's fine to not even watch the trailer. I would even go as far as to say that you don't need to watch any of the other movies to understand what's going on here. They do this in every single one of the movies. They explain what happened before and how we got to this point. So if you didn't want to watch all the other movies, you don't really have to because they're going to help you out. But if you want to have a better understanding of everything in the world that's going on and all the other stuff, yes, I would probably just go watch the movie. Or if you want some more good movies to watch, go ahead and watch them because they are good. This movie deals with a lot. There's some religious undertones here. There's a lot of race things in here that if you think a bit too deep about it, you'll catch on to it, but not many people are going to talk about that, so I don't mind mentioning that. I think that this movie does a really good job at keeping you guessing because throughout the entire movie, I was like, okay, why are they saying this? Why are they doing that? And then they start to explain it later on, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes perfect sense. So without spoiling too much, this movie deals a lot with the world that Caesar ended up building. But with this movie being so many generations ahead, obviously some people are going to get a few things twisted, as things normally do when you have someone that you look up to over generations. Words end up getting manipulated and changed throughout time. And you have your different groups of people who believe one thing, and then you have your other group of people who believe another thing. And that's what this movie is basically about, and trying to figure out, was Caesar right? What did Caesar do wrong? Was Caesar, wrong the whole time? Stuff like that. It really makes you start to guess. And I think that's awesome because there's a lot of things that are happening in our current time where you're like, okay, maybe this person is the bad guy, or maybe this person wasn't the bad guy. It's things like that. There's a lot of action in this movie, and there's a lot of sad moments as well, as you should expect with going to see this kind of movie. I think the set design of this movie is really good because they give out this really good, believable, deserted planet, and the whole time, it's kind of like, The Last of Us or any other post-apocalyptic kind of, movie. I'm curious to know what their plans are for the future because the way that they ended this movie keeps you guessing on a few things, but they hint at a few things throughout the movie that you should probably pay attention to. I caught on to it pretty quickly. Some of the people in my theater caught on to it, minus the person who was sitting next to me who was talking the entire time, and I almost had to say something. Again, I really did enjoy this movie. I think that if you haven't already, you should definitely go check it out. Well, guys, what did you think about this movie? Did you like it? Did you not like it? If you did like it, let me know your thoughts about it in the comments down below. And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. And I'll see you guys in the next one.
Sunway review, take me on a cinematic journey. movies too.